Okay, so today we're going to talk about stem and leaf plots. So what is a stem and leaf plot? That is a way of organizing and displaying data using the digits of the data values. The last digit of the data value is the leaf, and then the remaining digits are the stem. The key will explain what the stem and leaves represent. Stem and leaf plots are useful in showing how data values are distributed. So my key here for 1, 2, it equals 12 points. So I have football scores. Their stems are 0, and their leaf was 3 and 6. So that means they had 0 points, and they had 3 total, or 6 total. This would be 12. That would be 13. That would be 14. 21, 21, 24, 24, 28. 30, 35, 35, 35, 38. And then 45. Does that make sense how to read them? So this is the tens digit. So these are the tens digits in your numbers. These are the ones digits in your number. So you would just rewrite them. You see how this one has the 1 on the stem and then the 2 on the leaf? That means that was 12 points. Because if I take that middle thing out, that's what it would come to. Okay. So it says the stem and leaf plot above shows the scores of a football team in each of their games last season. Use this plot to answer the questions below. So find the mean. So I'm going to find the mean. So what I'm going to do is the numbers I add up would be I'd take 3 plus 6 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14 plus 21 plus 21 plus 24 plus 24 plus 28 plus 30 plus 35 plus 35 plus 35 plus 38 plus 45. That's going to get me the sum to be 384. Okay, how many scores did they give us? So I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 384 divided by 16 gets me 24. So our mean value for average points scored would have been 24. Our median, we order from least to greatest. The nice thing about stem and leaf plots is they already are in order from least to greatest. It's just a matter of writing them down. So we'd go 3, 6, 12, 13, 14, 21, 21, 24, 24, 28, 30, 35, 35, 35, 38, and 45. Okay, I'm going to start crossing one off in the front and one off in the back. Front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back. What am I left with? I'm left with the same number. So technically, again, if you're left with 2 numbers, what you have to do is you have to take 24 plus 24, and then you have to divide that by 2. But there's not a number in between 24, so this one just works out to be 24. So our median is 24. What's our mode or our modes? 35, because that one occurs the most. That number comes up 3 times. And what's my range? 42, because I'm going to take 45 minus 3. Questions on how to go from the stem and leaf plot to our mean, median, mode, and range? How do we count again? Okay. So just like this, so you know how this is 0? That means these are single digits. This would be 3. This would be 6. Then this is saying these are my tens. So I have 12, 13, 14. Okay, perfect. Okay, now what it's asking me, in how many games did the team score less than 14 points? So we want to know less than 14. 4, because I have 13, 12, 6, and 3. That would give me 4. And how many games did the team score at least 35 points? So that means they can score 35 points, but they need to score 35 or more. 5. Because it would have been 35 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 38, and 45. Are we good on that? Or do we have questions? Okay, then we're going to look at the stem and leaf plot to the left shows running time in minutes of the movies currently showing at a theater. Use the plot to answer the questions. So now this time it's multiple digits in the front. So now we're into the hundreds. So this line would be my 90s. This is my hundreds. This is my 110s. And so on and so forth. So do you see they give you an example here? If your stem is 14 and your leaf is 1, it's 141 minutes. Does that make sense? Okay, so we need to find the mean. So what numbers am I going to add together? 94 plus 94 plus 101 plus 105 plus 109, 114, 116, 118, 127, 130, 136, 142, and 148. When you add those all together, you should get 1,534. And how many movies did they just list? How many numbers did we just count? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So what's our average movie in minutes? 118. Okay. So now I'm going to find my median. So I'm going to list them in order from least to greatest. So what's my first number? 94. Then what's my next one? Then, okay, 105, 109, 114, 116, 118, 127, 130, 136, 142, and 148. Front, back, front, back, front, back. So what's my median? 116. What's my mode? 94, because 94 appears twice when all the other numbers don't repeat. Oh, yeah, all of the numbers don't repeat, all the other ones. And then how do I find my range? 148 minus 94. So that's going to get me 54. So how many movies have a running time greater than 130? Has to be greater than 130. 3. If it would have said at least 130, then it would have been 4. But greater than would be 136, 142, and 148. How many movies are at most 2 hours? How many is 2 hours in minutes? So anything below 120. 8. That'd be 118, 116, 114, 109, 105, 101, 94, and 94. Any questions on the frontier? Okay, move on to the back side then. And now we're going to be drawing and making our own stem and leaf plots and describing the distribution of their data. So it says helpful hint, order the data values before making your stem and leaf plot. This is very helpful in the fact that you see what's your lowest number and what's your highest number, and you don't have to go back and guess and check things. So that's what I'm going to do on my first. So I am going to order my numbers from least to greatest. So my smallest number here is 52. Then comes 68, 72, 74, 80, 81, 85, 88, 90, 93, 96, and 100. Make sure we're writing our notes down and not messing around. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, this is of test scores, so I'm going to label this as test scores.
At this time, all students who are in 4th hour A class, please go to Mr. Barring's room at this time. Thank you.
Okay, so then I'm going to have my stems over here, so I'm going to write stem. And then I'm going to write leaf. What's my smallest value? 52. So I'm going to write 5. Well, 52, my leaf would be 2 then. What's my next value? 68. Do I have any more values that are in the 60s? Nope. So what's my next value then? 72. Do I have any other values in the 70s? I have 74. So I'm not going to write 7 down here again. I'm going to write a 4 behind that 2. Then comes 80s. So I'm going to have 80. What's going to have to come after that 0? 1 for 81, then 5 for 85, then 8 for 88. What's next? 90s. So I have 90. What comes after that 0? 3. What comes after that 3? Okay, and then comes our hundreds. So our only value in the hundreds is 100. So I write 10 and then a 0. Do we understand how to make our own stem and leaf plots? Would you like to see another example? Okay, which one do we want to see? What? Which one? I didn't hear you. Number 6? Okay. Number 6 is a good one because it's our GPA scores. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to write them in order from least to greatest. So my smallest would be 1.8. Then comes 2.5. Then comes 2.7. 2.8. 3.0. 3.1. 3.2. 3.2. 3.3. 3.6. 3.7 and a 4.0. One thing that I forgot to do on this last one is you're always technically supposed to make a key, like how you have on a map, like a legend. So what I should have put when we started was I should have put that 5 with the 2 and then put equals 52.
What's the average? How did you get it?
I don't know.
How did you get it?
So like you see on the front here, Sutton, how they gave us this key right here?
Oh, yeah, I get it now.
That's what ours is on the back here. So on this one, I'm going to have my STEM. So this would be my GPAs. I'm going to have my STEM. And then I'm going to have my leaves. Okay. My key here this time would be that if I have 1.8, what is that going to look like then? Line 8. So pretty much our line would be our decimal point. Okay, so I see that I have 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. So for my stems, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3s, and 4s. What's going to come after my 1 on my first one? It's going to be an 8. Because remember that decimal and my key over here is that line. I don't have any more 1s. What will be for my 2s? 5, 7, and 8. Because I have 2.5, 2.7, and 2.8. What about my 3s? 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 6, 7. I have 2 3.2s, that's why 2 is written twice. And then number 4, or on my 4s, I would have 0. Does that help a bit?
Yep.
Any questions on stem and leaf plots?